English step by step, how to use a and the, step 7. This is a series of videos on how to use articles in English, a and the, and no article. So, let's look at some examples. In this video, I'm going to talk about how we use articles when we're talking about places. Now, all of these examples here use no article, zero article. And that's when we're talking about continents, countries, mountains, and lakes. For example, how many countries are there in Africa? We don't say the Africa because Africa is a continent. Next one. They come from Syria. We don't use the Syria because Syria is a country. And again, when we're talking about mountains, no article. For example, you can see photos of Mount Fuji in Japan. Next one. Ice-covered Lake Michigan. Lake, no article. Ice-covered Lake Michigan. Now let's look at some different examples. We use the when we are talking about oceans, seas, rivers, and deserts. For example, it's a novel about life on the Mississippi. So that's a river. So we use the Mississippi. Many Europeans sailed across the Atlantic. The Atlantic. That's an ocean. The Vikings travelled over the North Sea. So that's sea, the North Sea. They were nomadic people in the Sahara. So when you're talking about a desert, you say the. In this example, the Sahara. So here are some more examples. In these cases, we use the. We use the when we are talking about mountain ranges. In other words, groups of mountains. And also groups of islands. Now these are plural. For example, Hannibal crossed the Alps and entered Italy. So the Alps uses the. Many tourists travel to the Hebrides Islands in Scotland. So that's a group of islands, the Hebrides. Now, we also use the when we're talking about countries with names which include republic or states. For example, the Czech Republic is in the heart of Europe. The Republic, the Czech Republic. July the 4th is an important day in the United States. The United States. So these countries have the word republic or states, so we have to use the. Now we don't use an article when we're talking about cities, towns and villages. For example, I live in London, but I was brought up in Cooper, a town in Scotland. London is a city, Cooper is a town. Another example, she works in Madrid, but comes from the town of Avila. So Madrid is a city, Avila is a town. We don't use an article. So here are some other examples with no article. We don't use an article when we're talking about streets and roads. For example, many tourists in London go shopping in Oxford Street. No article. Many visitors to Glasgow visit Buchanan Street. Buchanan Street has no article. There is a famous recording studio in Abbey Road. Abbey Road, no article. So that brings us to the end of this step 7 video on using a and the and no article. So there's a lot of detail, so please move on to the step 8 video in which you'll find a practice exercise so you can check that you remember all these details. And remember, click like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this, and you can request a lesson in the comments section below.